Yo, it's Wednesday, it's 8:05, and it's Gunslingers. Big one tonight. Let's go! Welcome. Oh, man. What evening we've got for you lucky people, man. We've got the full crew here again today. And today we're going to be talking about the Hale End boys. Do we keep them? Do we loan them? Do we sell them? Got my man Gumsa as always. How you doing? You good, Gumsa? He's so good, he's frozen. That was brilliant. That was brilliant. I tell you what, boy, that was. If you plan that, man, you need to teach me that.
Yeah, them special effects there, bro.
I tell you what, that was wicked. James, as always, man.
I'm good. I'm in better spirits than I was on Sunday, so I'm good.
Oh, okay. James, as always, man, it's always a pleasure to have you on there, sir.
Yeah, what up? What's good?
Good. GunnerKing, how you doing, sir?
All good. Yeah, man.
And our man, Nigerian Englishman from One Touch. How you doing, sir? We all good? Love that. Listen, I need something to put me in a better mood, man.
Sorry.
Oh, what?
I didn't get my special effects.
Remix it.
You know what really happened, guys? I didn't want to say, but what really happened is my dad just disrupted my intro music by calling. That's why it stopped playing. I didn't press stop. Dad, recognize next time the Nigerian Englishman is talking live. Sorry, Daddy. Sorry.
Tell you, boy, it's live. You know it's live. Guys, listen, today we've got a great show, and I think, you know what, it's a great conversation for us to have, really. And we're talking about the boys, you know, from Hale End, the Hale End boys, really, who've come through, grown up with the club, been with the club since they were like 8 or 9, and we want to know whether or not they've done enough to stay with us, to do something, to be, you know, within the squad for the coming season. Do we actually kind of persevere with them, i.e. keep them around the squad or loan? Or is it time now to cash in? Do we actually use them now as make weights for certain transfers? And we're talking about Reiss Nelson, Eddie Nketiah, Willock. Who else is there? Ainsley, Maitland-Niles. I mean...
You can throw a couple of more guys in there. You can throw in the Balogun. You can throw in Aziz.
I hear that, but I think.
But those are the main ones. The ones that you listed. They're the main ones.
Yeah, those boys are at a crossroads right now. Mm-hmm. Those boys are literally at a crossroads. Balogun and Aziz, they're coming through and they will have some time. But these boys are literally at a crossroads now. And you know what? First off, I'm going to come to you, James. I'm going to throw something at you, right? Because we also want to know whether or not these boys have been given a fair crack of the whip, right? And last season, Reiss Nelson was with us. Let's have a look at him here. Jeez. Hardly got any gameplay.
Yeah.
And my question is it fair? Can we really judge him?
We can't judge him, but he didn't help himself. Arteta wanted him to go out and learn in January, and he said no from reports. So, like, he's limited. Right now, we've only seen him in where he played for, what was the score? Where did he go? He went to Germany.
Team,
Hoffenheim, isn't it? Hoffenheim.
Yeah, that's the one. So he did bits in
He did very well, and I was excited for him to come back.
He did good at the start of his loan, and
Yeah,
the
first half
off,
loan,
right? And we were expecting him to kick on, maybe play Europa, maybe show what he's about, right? We've seen glimpses of it, but when he's had the chances, he's never gone, right, this is why I'm in the team.
Exactly.
It's always been, okay, I'll have a good 5 minutes and whatever else you've given me, I'm not going to really do much. For me, he's the only one I'm on the fence with. I'm leaning towards selling him because I don't see him signing a new contract, and I think he's got less than a year left. But for me, to answer your question, he hasn't been given the full opportunities that we'd expect because of how many quality wingers we have. We have Saka, Pepe, Aubameyang plays on the left. Martinelli's better than Nelson, so there's a lot of competition, right? So he should see this and take Arteta's advice. What I think he said, look, go out on loan, get game time, and then we'll reiterate. But he didn't go on loan, so he's just not rotted away, but playing in the under 23s when you were last season playing in the Bundesliga, there's levels. And that's a massive drop-off. So, yeah, he's the only one I'm on the fence with. I'm just going to say it now. I think Ainsley Maitland-Niles should go. I think Willock should go. And I think Nketiah should go. And the why I'm being so bold is Nketiah, for me, hasn't done what we thought he was going to do when we brought him back from Leeds. He's had lots of opportunities, right? He's done all right, but he's not done what he was doing at Leeds, what we all thought he was capable of doing, right? And for me, I see him as a goal poacher. I haven't seen that other side to his game where he can take on players, he can dribble, he can do this and that. Maybe in preseason, but not in a vast amount of games. Ainsley Maitland-Niles the same. When he was at right back, I thought he was quality. I thought we had our answer to our right back issues, but then for some reason he goes, I'm a central midfielder, right? Gets the loan to prove he's a central midfielder and then doesn't do great at West Bromwich Albion. He's a lot better as a right back, but for me, he refuses to accept that, and he's so determined to play centre mid. Play to him, like, he's sticking it, but for me, it's I don't know. He's being thick-headed. He doesn't see the opportunity he's got to play for his childhood club and be in the starting 11. So that, and for me, why I say Willock needs to go is I don't think he fits our system. He plays as like a floating 8, and we don't really have that. We play as a double pivot, and we play as a 10. So I don't see how he fits into the system. And if we're talking assets of what we can sell to look at players for what we need, being a Maddison, being a Basuma, being a Max Aarons, whoever you want to put at right back, right? He's the one player that we might be able to go, yeah, we can generate 20, 25 million to it.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. That's my reasons. I mean, come at me if you want to question it, but I think all of them need to leave. Maybe Willock, not Willock, maybe Nelson on a short-term loan so we can reassess. But for me, we can generate a lot of funds with those 4 players.
So here's one of the things, right? Not only, if we look at this graphic again, has he played only 4 games, started 3, and I'm pretty sure that was it was Europa. I don't think we've got any Premier League stats at all for him. The thing is, as well, when Arteta plays him, considering that Reiss Nelson is right-footed, he plays him on the right, but doesn't Arteta like a lefty on the right and a right-footed player on the left? He always seems to play him on the right. I mean, I don't know, man. I just feel that he doesn't get the fair crack of the whip. I mean,
Nelson, Reiss.
Yes.
It's not him that you're talking about here, please, because I'll get angry. Are we talking about Reiss Nelson?
Yes.
Like, Reiss Nelson bust into the Arsenal side, what, 2017?
I was going to 2006, he was still
2016, 2017, yeah? When Wenger was still about there, right? He's been in and about the team since then. And for me, with someone like Nelson, for me, personally, I think he's never showed consistency. Like he hasn't given us 2 good moments or 1 whole good game in a Premier League game or come on to change a game. I remember, I think last year against Liverpool, he scored 1 and looked a little bit lively in the first half. And that was his season, really. And that was it. And I would have expected him to have thought, ask the manager, are you going to play me a lot this season? If not, let me go on loan. Let me get some minutes. Let me show you I can do something in the Premier League. Let me show you I'm not Jadon Sancho's ugly friend. Like, do you know what I'm saying? I can actually hang with him. I can play with him too. But he didn't do that. I don't appreciate the fact that you act like in the reserves, the under 23s, all that stuff. You look like an incredible player. Even in some England games I've seen, under 21s, he's played really well, scored free kicks, left foot, right foot, dribbling, no fear. But when it comes to putting on that Arsenal shirts, the weight of the shirt is too much for him. Oh, sorry.
But you know what? Is it really a bad thing for him to back himself and say, do you know what? No, I can push my way into the starting, into the starting 11. Is that a bad thing to kind of, to have that belief in yourself to say no? I want to.
I don't think it is. No, and I think like the way that Nigerian a few times has summarized Willock and Reiss Nelson, I don't agree with. Like, I think looking at
something interesting to say about that today, King. But
I think there's a lot of times it's like, well, they've made appearances, they've had their chance. I can tell you right now, I played as a striker that could play on either wing or a second striker. And when you're coming in and out of a team playing in any one of those different positions, you don't get no rhythm. Do you know what I mean? And I think both of them have just been given. They've never been given runs. And I can tell you another thing. It goes further with when I was watching these guys come through the youth academy. Reiss Nelson was better than Saka and ESR. Like when they were coming up on the come up, he was better than both of them. It was not even close. Like if you watch them at youth level. Yeah, but the thing is, what that can come down to is a chance. The acclimatizing to first team football can take a bit longer. I think maybe there is a bit of credence to what James said about maybe he should have accepted a loan in January to kind of show that. But I wouldn't really say. I'd say it's grey. I wouldn't say it's black and white that he couldn't have a future and do well for Arsenal. So I'm more of the mind that a loan to a good Premier League team where he's going to get 30, 38 games, assessing him over that period. I know Palace are looking at him, and I think that's perfect.
I was just about to say, what about
Eze's injured, so he's done his cruciate. He's not going to come back quickly or straight away, or the same player. Vieira's there, and they do try and get at teams. So I think something like that for a season, and then drawing a conclusion after that, I think is fair for him really. I think it's a bit early to say he couldn't make it. Yeah, early, man. Like you can't. What I find, you can't say, well, Saka and ESR were doing it at 19, 20. Why isn't this guy? Yeah, that's not how it works.
I agree with that. I agree with that, King. You can't compare it like that. But look, the way I would look at it is he's been in and around the first team squad for a lot longer than Saka and Smith Rowe, right? And in that period, he's not shown even a glimpse of what they're showing after only a year. I'm not saying that you can't compare the players, but I mean, if you're going on a term of who's had more chances, I'm gonna say Reiss Nelson. The reason why it might look like ESR and Saka might have had more chances is because they forced the manager to keep playing them. So it looks that way. They forced the manager to not drop them because when they came in, no matter where you put them, they did a job. So and what you said in terms of Willock, to be honest, I've been a big hater of Willock. I'll put my hand up. But when I look, I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to say something that I know King never expected to hear ever from my mouth. Though. Sorry. But I would say, look, when you send a player on loan, what do you ask of him? Make an impact where you are. Get some games. Making it regardless of what James was saying in terms of he might not necessarily fit into our style, like Willock did everything we want a player to do on loan. Go there, make an impact, score goals. He's done that. So even though I was saying get him out, what else? Like, what else could he have done to get a run into that first team or from that loan to Newcastle?
So when he came back, I think if I remember with Reiss Nelson, when he came back from Hoffenheim, everyone thought that he would get this run in the game, in the team, whatever, but it never really materialized, and that's pretty sad. I mean, with Gumsa, look, G Talks Arsenal is as ruthless as ever here. The main four you mentioned, seldom. Time to make big moves in this market. We've got a few in and around first team already. We need to now add experience and quality right now. I mean, would you be as ruthless as that, Gumsa?
Nope, not in the slightest.
And why? Why?
For me, there's a lot worse at the club who are more experienced than them four. So that's where I'll be being ruthless. Not saying them four should be starting for us, but I'd rather have them four as my guys as backup than Xhaka, El Nene, Bellerin, to name a few. I'm in agreement with what everyone's saying. If I'm honest, today I'm not going to rock the boat too much. However, I do think we're being a bit harsh on some of them. I get what you're saying, Nigerian, about Reiss was the big hope from young. We all knew Reiss Nelson from the time he was like 12, 13.
Yeah.
And he hasn't stepped up like Xhaka and ESR has. One thing I will say, watching Reiss over the years play when he's had the chances, he looks quite lightweight as such. This year, I've seen a bit of an improvement physically, and it could be that's the reason why it's held him back a little bit, just because he might not have come into his man body as soon as the others. My son, when he was playing at under 12s or under 11, he had the actual body age of a 9-year-old, where some boys at 12 had a body age of 15, 16. And things there make a huge difference. So you would find some boys will play down a year because physically they can't cope at that age group. Doesn't mean they're not good players. And I think Reiss could be in that mold where actually he might just need to get a bit of man strength behind him, and all of a sudden he might kick on. So for me to sell him, again, depending on what's happening with his contract, if he doesn't want to sign, then get your money in for him. If he is happy to tie down for another year, 2 years, for me, it'd be a loan. If we went across the board, who would we think's in front? We'd probably all say Willock's ahead of all.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Definitely.
And the reason why Willock's ahead is because he had a good loan. So to me, to then cut, do you want me to cut out the others, Nketiah putting that, and Reiss Nelson, to cut them now before they had a good loan would be silly of us. I feel let them have a year playing in the Premiership and then make a judgment. Willock's value's gone up from that loan spell. So actually, if Reiss signed another year or two, had a good loan, his value's probably gone from 10 to maybe 20. We're looking at, we want 30 mil for Willock to 28. At Christmas time, we would have sold him for 5-7 million. So
does anyone know the state of Reiss's contract, by the way?
I think he's got one.
He's got 1 year left.
Less than a year.
So I think his is a bit different. I think his depends on that. If I'm honest, the Nketiah brigade, I feel it's very harsh. Again, I'm watching an experienced guy who's been top goal scorer many a season in England and in Germany, on the biggest contract at the club, and he's struggling in this Arsenal team. So the hate on Nketiah is very difficult.
The same with that.
I didn't get the call. I didn't get the call. It's busy time.
I have to say, with Nketiah, I've been on the we should cash in on him. I've been saying that. I've been consistent with that. But I tell you what, from what I've seen of him in pre-season, I've seen a lot of food for thought in my own thoughts, and I'm man enough to say that. I think he's looked very lively in pre-season.
And I get.
He looks a bit more
he's not everyone's cup of tea, and I get.
He looks like he's bulked up a bit as well. Like he looks like
again the man strength, bit of man strength.
Yeah, he's worked, like his link-up play seems to have leveled up a bit. I think, and his movement off the ball, his shooting has looked very good. I've always queried whether or not he can play as a lone striker, and he's shown in the pre-season games. I mean, even with Chelsea the other day, he came on, he was lively. So
yeah, he looks well. He looks good.
Again, would I be open to a loan with reevaluating after 20, 30 games? Yeah, but I don't think him sitting on the bench,
he has a year left,
waiting to play. I don't think that's healthy for anyone. involved.
He has a year left. He has a year left on his contract.
I think in reference to what you were saying, Gums, and I think as Lisa, hi Lisa, how you doing? Agree. Willock did absolutely everything right on loan. I'd like to keep him, but not sure how much time he get for Arsenal. The thing is, it's like we've been crying out, as we all know, for goals from midfield. But the problem with Willock and what Willock has, I think, is the system that Arteta wants to play.
Listen,
I don't think Willock fits that. However, that's.
Do you know
Do we
what?
change to accommodate him?
If you gave me a choice right now to bring on El Neni or to play El Neni in the absence of Partey, who we got to remember is out for
100%.
6 weeks,
100%.
Who is a player that I don't know what's happening with AFCON, if that's still going on or not. There's going to be a way. I'm putting Willock on the pitch every day of the week, and this notion that he can't play in a 4-2-3-1, or that he can only play in a 4-3-3 system. Why are we looking at the likes of Neves? Why are we looking at the likes of Locatelli, who are a bit more, sort of ball playing central midfielders, so to say, So I don't buy into that. I think he can develop to play next to a Partey or a Lokonga. Or a Xhaka,
because
I think that
he came on and did exactly what we wanted.
Yeah,
right?
and I think in addition to that, he could.
That's the thing for me,
or even a 10. To give him minutes. So yeah, I'd those are my thoughts.
No, I agree. I think, but then again, I mean, I think the way that Arteta wants, he obviously wants the fullbacks pushing on. And there has to be some kind of safety net there. And is Willock?
I think it's sorry, Canners.
Go ahead.
Sorry, King is cutting in and out. Sorry. For me, there's styles and there's games, isn't there, for it? If you're playing your Cities and Liverpools, you then bank in with El Nene and Xhaka or Partey. When you're playing your Brentfords and you're not being disrespectful, when you're playing your lower league teams, you might need Willock's energy and drive. It's no different than there'd be games which are suited for, if we had Aaron Ramsey, you'd want him to be doing the box to box. And there was games where Ramsey's gone missing, you're thinking you just need to hold. So like Gunner said, if we're drawing 1-1, a bit like Chelsea, we're losing 2-1, Willock comes on the pitch and, as Silverfox says, grabbed himself a goal, which didn't count. But that's what you need. You need options. I don't want to just always see like for like changes. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you need to bring on someone different in the area to actually
sometimes I agree with that. But however, sometimes with the Ramsey kind of thing, if Ramsey wasn't scoring, what else was he doing?
Yeah, so and I think that's the issue with people that have the issue I have with Willock is because he gives me Ramsey vibes, like great goal scoring midfielder, but like Ramsey should have been an incredible, even better than he was, but he just, even with his engine, he wasn't willing to do the going box to box as often as he should have. Like, and Willock kind of gives off those vibes. So if he can work on that,
you're shaking your head, James.
No. Like in terms of Ramsey had an engine, but the reason why
Ramsey had a tremendous engine.
He had an incredible engine, but he wasn't going from box to box like we wanted him to.
Nigerian, I don't know if you looked at the heat maps, bro. Like Ramsey was everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not disagreeing. I'm not
all
disagreeing.
The attacking areas that we needed him to be, but which left us exposed in our half. Like I'm not denying Ramsey ran about, but in terms of the defensive side of things, if he did that little bit better, people will be saying he's a lot better player than he's getting credit for. Do you get what I mean?
I agree with you defensively with Ramsey, but again, he offered us a lot going forward, and I think we've lacked that.
And I believe Willock has those vibes with those type of runs going forward. Yeah. And
they're quite similar.
If we don't give Willock a chance in his first team, it kind of sets a bad precedent. Like he did everything we asked of him on loan. Did a good job. He comes back and then we sell him. Like other players that might start thinking.
I disagree. No, I disagree. I disagree. Let me go. The reason why I disagree, right? It's because Willock looks, and everything he said, talked about in his conferences and stuff at Newcastle, he'd be happy to join Newcastle. If you're talking about it being it's a negative that you can't break into the first team, look at Saka and ESR. Like I know Saka's a bit different because he hasn't been on loan, but ESR went on loan to Huddersfield, right? He did really well. He came back and he got the opportunity. And for me, it's not black and white, but I think it's all circumstantial around these players. Like Nketiah, okay, but as soon as we signed Balogun, I think that was a writing on the wall for Nketiah. Like, you don't sign another striker that's only 1 year younger than Nketiah and then keep Nketiah. Like, for me, that doesn't.
The writing on the wall.
Can I counter that about the strikers?
Wait, before that, the difference between Willock and Smith-Rowe's situation is Smith-Rowe had a decent time at Huddersfield. He didn't score 7 goals in 8 games, and he was in the papers every single week. Like he became a superstar at Newcastle. He's got to get a chance at Arsenal, at least for half a season. Like, okay, wait, hold on, James.
The other thing with the strikers.
What more would he have needed to do from that?
I agree with you.
Again, it's not the fact of.
And I'm not.
I agree with that.
If you're looking at our perspective, yeah, he deserves a shot on the team, right? But I'm looking at it from the stance of what do we need to do to this squad, and what does Arteta want to do with Willock, right? Maybe if personally, I like to sell Nketiah, I like to sell Ainsley, Maitland-Niles, I want Reiss Nelson to go on loan, and I want Willock to have a chance, right? But for me, Willock isn't getting that chance. Like, we're looking at Maddison, we're looking at other targets right in our midfield. And for me, I think Arteta sees Willock as a valuable asset that can allow us to get a Maddison, that can allow us to get other pieces in the squad that we need. And that's the way I'm looking at it.
I'm conflicted. I have to say, I'm conflicted. Just one thing here from Football Things on TikTok. I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I think that Willock needs to go back to Newcastle on loan because I don't think that Arteta will use him a lot. And I actually probably agree with that. Tie him down to a new contract, I'd say, and then see how he gets on. Just, have a full season in the Prem.
See what going to be like Ainsley Maitland-Niles though. Like, his
let's
value,
see,
right?
Let's see. Put him on
his
loan.
Value has never been this hot. Like, as Gumsa said, right? 6 months ago, £7 to £10 million our max, right?
Yep.
Now we're talking 25, 30. Last season, when Maitland-Niles, we were quoted 20 to 25 million for him, right? And Wolves even put in a really substantial bid for him. We didn't sell at the appropriate time, and now he's worth what, 10, 15? For me, it's just we as a club. We are shit at selling players. We cannot make a profit. We don't know when to sell at the right time, right? For me, as Kunle said, right, Willock had an exceptional loan period. Is he going to be that good at Arsenal, or is he going to be that good again at a loan on Newcastle? For me, loaning him back out is not going to do anything but depreciate his value. And for me, I don't think that's an option. For me, it's you keep him.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, King. So
you sell him.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that.
I mean, G Talks Arsenal says I agree with some of the experienced players are bang average and need to go, but I also feel that these players are bang average as well. Leicester don't want any of them. I mean, how would you feel about just selling Willock? Is that the same train that you're on?
Me?
I'm with. Sorry,
King, sorry.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I think, look, there's a lot to unpack with that exchange between James and Nigerian that I want to get to.
Yeah, please go ahead.
The first part about the strikers, I mean, we've got 2 aging strikers. Like Aubameyang and Lacazette are in their 30s. They're in the twilight of their career. We could be looking at a very real situation where within 12 months of each other, they're no longer going to be kind of fit for purpose. So I think their strikers' place is up. I think their strikers' place is up for grabs. Obviously,
Laka and Abba get done then.
Huh?
Do you think we'll keep both Abba and Laka this summer then?
I really don't know. I think like if we're looking at Martinez, maybe not. But that's what I'm saying at the moment. Like, it's good to have young strikers around because those guys are clearly in the twilight of their career. In terms of Willock, I think, to be honest, Partey has got picked up another injury. That's 17 days out and still counting that he's been out with injury. Like he's looked afflicted by that. Like at the moment, you've got Xhaka there, but he's only there really because Roma didn't pay the money that we wanted for him. You know, so there's already been, yeah, he had a better season last season, but we could see a Xhaka of old, so to say, yeah. And then you've loaned him out and sold him, and then on top of that, you've only got Lokonga, who's finding his feet in a new league. Like, then we've got El Neni, who, for me, El Neni is just like, whenever he plays, I'm like, okay, like I don't expect big things from him. I'm not going to run him into the ground because, like, Wenger bought him. He's not the worst player in the world, but for me, he's not changing the game. He's not changing the game. And if we get rid of Willock and we're looking for a central midfielder to change a game, I'm not looking at any of those players that I've named, bar Lokonga. And I just think it's a crazy thing to put that amount of pressure on a guy that's just come from the Belgian league. Now, this guy knows the league. He knows the country.
I honestly disagree with that comment there, King, because I think Lokonga, as much as he is young, he's the captain of Anderlecht. Anderlecht, I know you might say Belgian league is not great, but he's played week in, week out. I actually think... I'm not disputing that, but I think pre-season games are very different to league ones. You know, like, you can look... I mean, what? Man United have a player that they call the pre-season Perla. Ricardo, that Pereira goal. He scored a worldie the other day as well. You know, my mate's coming round, Hakeem, yeah.
It was a worldie.
And the last time he was here, he was telling me this story, how in pre-season, he always looks the mustard. And then they try and play him in the league, and all of a sudden, he turns back to Pereira.
Yeah,
you know,
right. So just quickly, G Talks Arsenal. If we keep them, who do we drop them for? You know, to play, we will have one game a week, and I guess this is the season for us to get ruthless, really, in terms of selling. Just one other comment, and I wanted to just get onto a few of the thumbnails we have. James, how you doing, James? Shouldn't you want him to now be around your current squad, learning Arteta's style of play and bonding with the team?
I'm assuming that's Willock she's talking about, right?
Yeah, I'm presuming, yeah. And do you know what? I would say that
was about Willock.
Yeah. It's a tough one, really, because the thing is, as G Talks Arsenal said, there's only one game per week, literally, and it's going to be that. It's going to be that kind of like slow. The whole season is. It really is, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
You had something you wanted to say on the topic a minute ago.
That was a long time ago. I can't remember. But no,
what I want to do is
I'll go with what Jem said. And I'll touch on. I agree with James to a certain degree. I think with Willock, we've got his value at as high as it probably will be. So you either cash in or you play him. And again, I'm in a bit of agreement with Gunner. I'd actually rather see him play. But if we're not going to play him, he has to get sold and cash in at the right time. And just quickly, with reference to the strikers, I've seen the Southampton have sold Danny Ings. That could be a really good move for Nketiah to go to Southampton on loan for a season. Not say he plays in a similar way to Ings, but he wants to be in and around the box. You've got Che Adams, he's going to play next to him.
Yeah, and Nketiah only has a year left.
Why are you so desperate to sell him? Like, let him. But again, it could be the same thing. He could go to Southampton on a loan. But this is the thing. You sell him now, you're talking 10. Imagine he goes there and grabs 12 to 15 goals. All of a sudden, that value goes up to 20, 25 again. All of a sudden, you made 50 mil without having to even play him. You've just loaned him out, increased his value, and then you sell him off. So I'm not letting these guys, but I'll be selling where they're not at their prime. Get them some experience where bigger teams might want them. So mid-table team might want him the year after. You might be able to get an extra 10 mil out of him. Bit like we're saying with Willock. That's my opinion with it. I don't think these boys are bad players, and we're not going to get value if we sell them at this moment. I don't think.
You're saying sell Eddie personally next season after a season in Prem. Okay,
if it is, I would loan him this year. Let him get a season.
So
let him get a season somewhere.
He has a year contract, by the way. He has 1 year left in his contract. He has 1 year left. We either sell him or he goes for free.
I won't lie to you.
Unless we extend him, and we've offered him a contract, and he said no.
Fair enough. If that's the case, then he gets sold.
Yeah, we earlier in the window, we offered him a contract to extend him, either loan him out and then sell him at a higher value, or keep him, right? But he's 1 year left in his contract.
Here's my question. His heat map, he's supposed to be a striker, right? I would say would have been more of a midfielder looking at that heat map stat.
And this is the problem. Because in Arteta's system,
that don't surprise me.
He only plays with one striker, and I think it's a bit hard on him because
it is. He's not that guy.
No, and
so he needs to leave. That's the point.
I mean, that's what I said about the system, but I definitely seen signs in pre-season of adaptation, is what I'm saying. So I'm with Gumsa. If we can extend him for a year, like put another 2 years on his contract and then loan him out and to a good Premier League side and judge him there, I just really think in general we are making really early judgments on young players, man. And I don't like to reference the past, but there have been good players that we've let go in the past, purely that I look back on. I think we could have done with keeping hold of that guy. And look, that's what the loan system's there for, man. Use it.
Yeah.
You know?
This is for.
He's an English player. He's going to hold his value as well, by the way.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put that in as well. You're always going to have the English tax to work with.
Yeah. No, I think Willock for me has probably got. I understand wholeheartedly what James is saying, i.e., his stock has never been higher. Will it get? Is it at the ceiling, or can he actually break through? That's my only worry with Willock.
My thing is, if we need him for Madison, sell him. But other than that, there's no need. If that's what Leicester asked, they want him as part of the deal. Well, give him to him. But other than that, give him his chance.
Yeah. And this guy
as well. That's my stance. But sorry to interject.
So go ahead.
But the whole purpose of, and Per Mertesacker even said this, right? The purpose of Arsenal's academy is to serve the first team. So if you're talking 4 players that we brought in, we trained, we developed, right? Hypothetically can generate about 60 million in sales between 4 players, maybe less, maybe more, right? That's a significant chunk of change. And I think it's maybe jumping the gun on if they're too early, too young to sell them, yada yada yada, right? But we're forgetting we have a very, very good young players coming in. And the fact that we have more good young players coming in, right, that we can't judge at the moment, because as King said, Reiss Nelson was the dog's bollocks at youth level, but could be turned stagnated at the moment, right? We have Aziz, we have Charlie Patino, we have Balogun, a lot of players, right? That are touted for really to be levels, same levels as ESR, Saka, even higher, right? So if we have players that are worth money that are at young 20s, 22, 23, right, that are holding up spots that we could use for our other youth prospects, I think that's another thing to consider. And for me, where we're at right now, the Kroenkes aren't going to invest. We need money. These are sellable assets. And if we're smart, I don't think if we sell Willock to Newcastle for 22 to 25 million, if we put a sell-on clause, or we put a buyback clause for 35 million, for example, right, they're not going to say no, because they're going to make profit on an asset. And their owner, he's stingy.
Well, that's the thing. Are you sure Mike Ashley will spend 20 million on a player?
We need to be smart with it. If we're smart with it, we may either obtain future sell-on fees for these players, or we can buy them back if they prove us wrong. It just depends on how we sell them.
There is something that I've been hearing this week, is that Kroenke has given the power of veto, for 100 million extra of revenue to be drawn down from Arsenal's generated revenue, to be able to spend on players irrespective of any player sales. So this is the other thing. Another thing I want to touch on really quickly is I am sick and fucking tired of this board making managers have to pick either or situations. This is what we generate money for. We're the 8th richest club in the world, You moved us to this big-ass stadium, and said it was because we compete. So we can compete with the biggest teams in the world. And you know what? The biggest teams in the world, sometimes they say fucking both. Do you know what I'm saying, We got to start behaving like a fucking big club. I'm sorry if I'm being crude, but this is what I wanted to see, So this is the time now, if some of these youngsters, and some of them have shown quality, why are we saying, oh yeah, we got to sell 1 or 2 so we can go and get this guy? Fuck that, man. Do you know what I mean? We got the money there. We got rid of 7 or 8 players in the last 12 months. We got rid of Ozil. Ozil was earning 350 grand a week. You mean to say we haven't cumulatively brought the cost of the wage bill down? Fuck this, man. We got to stop letting this owner off the hook. We got to stop letting him off the hook, yeah, by being like, oh, okay, well, we'll take this, that, and the other. No, mate, like, I'm just saying, like, I'm just providing this for balance, by the way. Yeah? Like,
no. And I think it's
we
a
should
valid
keep all
point.
of them. I'm not saying we should keep all of them, but I'm just trying to actually make people realize, yeah, that big clubs, right? Phil Foden took a while to break through, you know, like they loaned him out, they kept him in the system when David Silva was there. Do you know what I'm saying? But this is what I'm saying, they're a big club. And now look
is Nelson and Nketiah them Phil Foden?
No.
Singing their praises like
let's listen. The last time
not every youngster's going to be a Phil Foden. Yeah, I mean, look what happened with Gnabry. I hate bringing that situation up. Yeah, but we did cash in on it, and we are literally looking back on that now. You know, even Adelaide playing in France, I watch him playing, and I'm like, right, we could have done.
There's a few.
You know, like,
there's a few. Even Marlon as well.
Marlon as well. He's just gone to Dortmund, 22 million.
Benacer is at AC Milan. He's a baller. He's probably the best out of the lot. He's different.
I'm sorry, man. Like, you know, like
right. Just quickly, there's one more thing. Literally, there's one more thing. 30 seconds. It'll be 20 seconds. Not even that. With what Gunner's saying, you could look at a player who's just broken to Chelsea's team, and actually he's gone out on loan to go and get minutes this year. Billy Gilmore. Now he's had a very good season. Yep. Again, he might be thinking my minutes are limited this year. Let me go out on loan and get some minutes in the first team. Like Chelsea, do you know what I mean? He's a future Chelsea star, like a bit like Mason Mount. They love Billy Gilmore, but actually what's best for him in his career right now is to get minutes under his belt. So they're not selling him, but actually go out on loan.
Listen, when I speak to Lambs, yeah, when I speak to Slens, when I speak to a lot of Chelsea fans, yeah, they are literally saying like that seat is being kept warm for him because of Kante's age, because of Jorginho's age, because of Kovacic's age. They've literally just said as soon as one of them drops off, he's going in, and they don't want to hear no talk.
He goes in, but
they don't want to hear no talk about it.
But for now, go and play.
You know, Chelsea are on the loan system. They're incredible at it, man. I didn't even know they still have Kennedy in their books, bro. Like, I didn't even know that.
But guys, look, what I want to do now is get into your decisions on a player, whether or not we should keep, sell, loan. Okay. I'm going to start with Willock. Gumsa.
That's a hard one. If 25 mil comes in, sell him. But if not, we keep him.
No loan answers, bro.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Why keep or sell is what he asked you, my friend. Keep.
In it.
Why keep or sell, brother?
I feel like this is going to be an Emi Martinez situation all over again, so I'm saying keep.
After all that, James, you're going to say keep.
Yeah, bro. I'm pushing my case. I'm pushing my case, right? But I want him to stay. Arteta ain't going to listen to me, is he? I'm a fucking white boy talking on an Arsenal channel. Like, come on.
He does watch this show once a week, so maybe.
Okay, you want him to stay. You want Willock to stay. Kunle, Nigerian Englishman?
I don't want him to stay, but it makes sense for what he did at Newcastle. He should be given a chance, so stay.
Stay. And King?
At the most, a loan for another season to develop his game or
gun to your head, bro.
Keep his stock. At the most, I want to keep him, but the closest compromise I'm willing to accept is a loan for another season at Newcastle.
Okay.
I'll sell him for Madison. Disclaimer.
This is what we had. We had a poll for him. Quite a few votes. So it's quite looks like it's someone that we'd like to keep, whether or not Arteta is that. And I think, this is pretty much in the. I know it's a small section of Arsenal fans, but I guess really, I would actually think we should keep him, in my opinion, as well.
Well, I know Pepe watches our show, so he might report that to Arteta.
Yeah. Actually, do you know what? This is the thing. Why not try him out on the left? See what happens. Reiss Nelson. No, I'm on about Reiss Nelson.
I was wondering who you are. Oh.
Reiss Nelson, I agree, actually, yeah. On the left, cutting inside on his right, either as an third winger or a forward. I'd be interested to see how that works.
But would you keep, sell, loan?
At the moment, I would loan him because I just think at this moment, Yeah, thinking about it, I'm thinking like of the left side. You got Martinelli, who's probably going to play there. Williams probably going to go. Smith Rowe might play some games there on the left if we get a number 10, which is looking like we're doing. So yeah, I'm going to say loan for now. But again, not with the view to selling him unless we really have to. At the end of it.
Well, me, yeah?
Yeah.
Too busy laughing.
Come on. He's gone.
Nelson gone. Buyback clause at the best.
Loan him.
Loan. Gumsa.
Loan.
Everyone's saying sell.
I'm with them to get a little 10, 12 million for him. Whoop.
Wow, that's a little harsh.
What is that to Arsenal Football Club? Do you know what I mean? It's the same stance with Xhaka, yeah? Like, all I'm saying is like the same energy, yeah? We looked at that 12 million for Xhaka, and I get it, Xhaka's much more established than Reiss Nelson. But the premise of what is 10 or 12 million to Arsenal Football Club is the same thing.
Should I explain, Gunner? So Nelson and Ainsley gets us Renato Sanchez for 30 mil. Boom.
Xhaka and Bellerin gets Renato Sanchez.
Taking that money from that 100 million like that they've given to
we ain't got
that gets us him and gets us the keeper, you know, like
next player. Maitland-Niles, Gumsa.
What you got to come here for? Sell.
James.
Sell him. Unless he plays right back, sell him.
Nah, okay. He's gone.
Gone. Nigerian.
Sell.
Wow, King.
He didn't wave at me. He didn't wave at me as well the other day.
It's different because I genuinely do feel that Maitland-Niles was given ample chances at left back, right back. He was given runs of games. He was given runs of games at centre mid as well. So with him, I feel it's very different, you know. And I think, as James is saying, he doesn't see himself playing at fullback. I think I'd love to keep him as cover at either fullback position, but he doesn't want to play there. So I'd say this is one I'd want to cash in. Okay.
If people agree with you there, man. 77%. That's a big number. 77%. Wow.
And it's sad with him as well because
he did well in that.
First onto the scene, he was doing bits, man.
Because he's actually had man of the match performances at Arsenal, and
he's done bits, man.
Yeah,
done bits. So to say, I think football teams on TikTok, he's talking about Nketiah.
Shout out my guy as well.
Yeah, Southampton will be able to play with a striker next to him that would help him, and I agree that, and I think that's what Nketiah needs. Mr. Silver Fox, keep Willock and sack off the other three. Wow, okay. He's not pulling no punches there. And Lisa, keep Willock, loan Reiss, sell Eddie and Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I think Reiss Nelson, boy, he's getting a little bit.
Why is he getting love? I don't get it. Because he looks like Sancho a little bit. That way it is.
Because he ain't been given a chance.
I've watched him play enough times at youth level, and he was unplayable at that level. Like he was a problem.
I think, Jordan Reed says he did bits against dead teams. That must be teams.
Just remember Ainsley Maitland-Niles having a man of the match performance against Man United. And I seem to remember in the cup final when we beat Chelsea, the semi-final against Man City, when he played in the back five, when he was playing as a fullback. They're not those small teams.
I don't think he's talking about Willock, I think he's talking about Reiss.
Yeah. So, last player, Eddie King, come to you, sir. I'll come to you last then, sir.
I'm genuinely conflicted with this guy, man, because I like it was cut and dry for me coming into the window, as you guys know on the streams. I've said like now, some of the performances in pre-season have really made me think. Like they really have. I'm just gonna say because of the squad management issue with Balogun and Martinelli. Who I just can't see him developing at this stage. I don't see a ceiling higher than theirs at the moment. I don't know. I'm gonna say so. I don't feel comfortable. Right? I I just gonna go and have a shower.
If he goes towards getting you a Martinez, would you be happy with that?
Yeah, it's getting me emotional though, man. Like my young guys, man. Like, because you know what? This is the thing though. Like, real talk, right? Yeah. Like, we are known for like always giving youth a chance. Like, for me, like, it's one of the reasons why I support the team. Do you know what I mean? Because
the thing is, though, we've got history though of making some sorry choices, boy. I remember.
I hear that.
You guys are not old enough to remember, but I remember seeing Andy Cole in a preseason tournament, and he was blistering. He was quick. He was wicked. All of a sudden, he was gone. Bristol City went on loan, never came back, and the rest, as they say, is history. But yeah, so you're saying sell? Are you king?
With a heavy heart.
With a heavy heart. Nigerian Englishman.
You gotta go.
I know
you gotta go. Like, for me, anything I got excited about watching Eddie play was the guy has increased his value. With his preseason, I thought, extra 5 million for him. Why not? Why not? That's it. Because that game against Celtic, was it Celtic?
Rangers.
Hibs. Where he missed the sitter. That was just
but he did well against Rangers. And he did well against Watford.
And when he came on against Chelsea.
Yeah. He was decent. Man. He was decent.
We don't want decent, bro. If you have to choose between Eddie and Balogun, I pick Balogun every time. So sell him.
Okay. Sell. James?
Yeah, he needs to go. He's out the door, man. I'm being ruthless. Eddie needs to go. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, from what I've seen, from what he offers the team, from the eye test for me, he ain't it. We have better options. I think Balogun's going to be really, really good. I think Martinelli's levels above him. Like, if we're believing what we're believing about him playing centre forward with Arteta, like, he's going to be better than Eddie. So for me, he's got 1 year left. He isn't going to sign. Sell him to Palace, sell him to Southampton, sell him.
You probably command a fee of in a region around 10 mil, won't you?
Yeah, 10, 15. Just put it back into the squad, like. It is what it is.
Yeah. And Gumsa, Eddie,
if he signs a contract, I'd loan him out. Not saying he's going to be our first choice striker, but actually let him get a season under his belt. If he does well, the same bit like Willock, he's done well on loan. If you put that poll up at Christmas time about buy, keep, sell Willock, that'd have been 90% sell.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So actually let these players go and play somewhere, and then that's how you get their value up, isn't it? So I'm not saying we have to keep Eddie to be our striker for the next 10 years, but loan him out, let him get a season, we'll have a good look at him, and then make a decision on him. So for me, he'll be a loan, a loan for him. And just see what happens. I think we're too quick to throw players away, like, because they have had a few bad games or whatever else. And strikers miss chances.
Appearances, yeah. We give them like 1 or 2 appearances here or there, and then we take them out. And then we look at the number of appearances. We're like, actually, they made up a lot of appearances, and like, we're not using our heads and being like, well, no, you need a run of games, like, you know, like that bedding in stuff.
Continuity.
Eddie had that. Lacazette got injured and then he stepped up. He played a decent run of games when Lacazette was injured last season, and he didn't step up.
No, you're right. He didn't. I was just thinking,
but when Aubameyang played up front, did Aubameyang step up? Now I know he's
got
money.
Are we really having a debate about Eddie?
No, but you're missing the point. You're missing the point, Nigerian. We asked, none of our strikers have had a good season. Lacazette's been all right, and Lacazette's only been all right because he's dropped deep in his league.
Has Aubameyang played his whole career and been elite? Yes. Has Nketiah done that? No.
I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing it. But what I'm saying is, we're judging him in a bad Arsenal side. It's very difficult to, I think, judge him. Like, if our strikers were firing, then he comes in and he's struggling, I'd say he's struggling. But if I'm seeing Aubameyang struggle, Lacazette struggle, what can I expect a 19, 20-year-old to do? Like, Balogun could go in there, he's going to struggle. Martinelli hasn't been amazing for us.
If he can't displace Patrick Bamford, he ain't going to displace any of our man, bro. So
man.
It's a time thing, isn't it? It's a time thing. It's a time thing.
Bamford's as an English striker got scored more than any other English striker last season.
But also, Styles, isn't it? Styles.
What's your point, though? I know that.
So he's not.
Wait a second.
My point is, like, to just be like, he didn't outscore this guy when he got 17 goals last season.
In the Championship, when they were both at the same club, he got sent back to Arsenal, bro.
Yeah, he was 19, bro. He was 19, playing as a centre striker. A lot of strikers.
Eddie Nketiah
Even Rashford burst on the scene,
striker.
and he's been pushed out. He's been pushed out on the left.
In the bottom half of the Premier League.
Do you agree with this from KM Box? Eddie can play with the back towards goal. That's valuable.
Can he?
He's looked alright. He's looked alright.
And so can Balogun. Like,
we don't need another. We don't need Eddie in from what we have in our squad. We need something different. We need a different type of striker.
We'll revisit this. Gunners, we'll revisit this in a few years' time.
Let's have a look at the poll.
Let's give it 5 seasons. We'll revisit this.
Oh, wow.
Crazy. That's what Willock would have looked like. That's what Willock would have looked like at Christmas. Right. We were too quick to just go crazy. No,
but that's the thing.
We give Xhaka another 2 years. Xhaka will be here for 9 years if he sees out his contract.
But
we're going to sell this man.
Before Willock's gone to Newcastle, he's had a man of the match performance for Arsenal. It just wasn't in the Premier League. It was in a Europa League. But Nketiah has given. What's he given us? A little celebration at Crystal Palace for scoring the equaliser, or Fulham, or whichever one it was.
A winner last season.
That got us 8th place, mate.
A winner last season against West Ham.
That got us 8th place. That got us 8th place.
Ooh, a whole 8. Jeez.
A big 8.
Guys,
place, brother.
All right. Guys, please, let viewers, people who've watched. Bless. We're gonna draw this to a close now, and I think we've gone through the players. It's a tough one, but I think something needs to happen with these players now. It needs to get all done and dusted. Whether or not they make weights, whatever for transfers that are going to happen, so be it. But listen, we've got like literally a week now until the new season starts. And we are, in my opinion, we're in trouble. That's just me. But that's another show, King. Don't start. Right. Without further ado, guys, I want to say thank you to the panel. James, Gumsa, King, Nigerian Englishman. It's been a wicked evening. We've discussed all the Hale End boys, and who knows what's going to happen, man. But all we know is that we definitely need new players to come in. Just the last one, he just got in there, Jordan. At the end, all them players need to go to Deadwood. There you go. If they're bringing some good money.
How reliable is 90 minutes, by the way? How reliable are they? Do we know how reliable?
Not very.
Not very. Okay, well, they just said Newcastle have agreed a fee for 25 million with Arsenal.
Cash in 25, though. Whoop. I have to change my opinion now. Jeez,
that's what a 6-month loan could do for you, isn't it?
All I'm saying, I don't know how reliable they are, but it's a new report.
And you heard it here first. Breaking news. Well, if that's true, then
there better be some add-ons involved in that, and a buyback clause and a sell-on release clause.
You can't grumble with that, in my opinion. Guys, I want to thank you. Great way to end the show. James, Gumsa, King, Nigerian Englishman, bless, wicked. Until next week.
Love,
guys.